What's up, everybody? Trad West Podcast here with a little breaking news video starting out the new year on a not so good note. Happy 2025, everyone. But late last night, early morning in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, an individual drove a pickup truck through a large crowd of people, killing 10 and injuring at least 35 others. Now, I wanted to make a video about this because it brings me to other topics, even though this guy, it looks like he was maybe in the United States for quite some time. It's not like someone who recently got over the border, but the FBI is investigating it as a terror attack. And this is becoming more and more common with mass casualty events, mass killing events where people just use vehicles. So that can kind of shut down the whole gun control narrative because you can do a lot of damage with a lot of different things. It's not just guns that are the problem. Are we going to start banning cars? The individual has been killed. He crashed his truck, got out, shot 2 police officers. I believe they're still alive. Then they shot and killed the suspect. 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar is the individual's name. And from what I was reading on one of these, there was potentially a ISIS flag or one of the Islamic, terrorist organizations, potentially one of those in the back of his truck. Now, thoughts and prayers to all the families affected by this. Not the way you want to be starting the new year. And again, he might have been here for quite some time. I don't have all the details on that yet. So, but still, I'm still going to talk about the border being an issue because at some point he could have come across, even if it was a long time ago. But we saw people pouring in across the border under this current administration without being vetted, without being checked. There was video that went around of that individual that was like a military-age man, as they like to say, looking like he was Islamic of some sort. And he was on video being filmed, being questioned by people, because they were just coming across the border. This was several months ago, or maybe a year ago at this point. And the guy said something along the lines of, you'll know my name soon enough. So, those of us who have been paying attention to this type of stuff knew it was only a matter of time until something like this happened. Unfortunately, there's probably going to be more of this happening as well because this administration was just letting people pour over across the border, unvetted. And as you can see, all it takes is a vehicle, a car. And you can do a lot of damage. So everyone, you should always be vigilant when you're out. But usually they warn, women and that to be aware of your surroundings when you're, in a secluded area where there's not in public. But stuff like this, you got to be aware of your surroundings at all times, even if you're in a big crowd having a good time. These people had just finished up New Year's celebrations, and what happens? A truck plows through the crowd. So be on the lookout, be aware of your surroundings, and look out for one another, even if you're with strangers and people you don't know, because that's going to lead me to talk to something else that I forgot to talk about on my Bruising News segment the other day, which was the incident that happened in the subway in New York where the lady was just caught on fire. And I believe that was potentially an illegal immigrant that did that one. Again, this one, it's looking like he's been in the United States for quite some time. But that name that I just read to you, that's obviously not some, American type name. And he's got Islamic flags. And the way our border was open, plenty of these people were just pouring into our country. So who knows where they set up shop? They probably have cells set up all around our country, and they're just planning crap like this. And, you know, when you find out how our three-letter agencies like the FBI operate, it doesn't really give you a lot of confidence and hope because, as we learned, if you paid attention to the January 6th type stuff, where, they were loving certain individuals get paid more, they get bonuses if they reach marks in certain categories of arrests and like domestic terrorism. So, January 6th, they had too many people labeled domestic terrorists. The FBI, our agencies literally told people, hey, we need to be able to connect them to an international terrorist association to get those numbers up. So go through anything you can find on these people, Americans that were involved in January 6th, regardless of what you think about it. But this is what three-letter agencies were saying. They were saying to look through these people's history and records to see if they could make any connections to possibly label them in an international terrorist way. That way they could get their bonuses and their numbers up for there because they had too many people that they were trying to label domestic terrorists. And they knowingly let people in our country that are on a watch list and they monitor them 24/7 apparently, but that's stupid. So these agencies are just chancing, rolling the dice of these people coming in here and actually committing a terrorist attack just so their higher ups can get bonuses based on arrests. So that's how some of it works within the DOJ and these three-letter agencies. It's pretty corrupt. It's pretty sick. They're willing to gamble and put people's lives at risk. But again, just be aware of your surroundings. Thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected by this that they're labeling. They're investigating. FBI is investigating this as a terror attack. The name sounds like it fits, but again, I don't know that he was, recently anyone who crossed the border. I still like to bring that up though, because more of this is going to happen with the amount of people that float over the border. I mean, we see the Venezuelan gangs that were taking over apartment complexes in Colorado and such. I guarantee those ones recently crossed over. And be aware of your surroundings and help each other out. Why do I say that? Because I'm going to go back to the lady that was set on fire on the New York subway. I watched a video of that. I'm not going to play that because it was pretty sick and graphic. But people just walking by, filming it with their phone, instead of coming to try to help this woman who is literally on fire, law enforcement included, NYPD, they were just walking back and forth on this video while this woman's body was fully engulfed in flames and on fire. Now, at that point in the video, she may have already been too far gone and it wouldn't be, I don't know, they might say it wouldn't be worth attempting to stop. But you're a law enforcement officer. Take your freaking jacket off and try to put the flames out or something. Like, standing there and watching it happen, sickening. Like, bystanders should jump in and help too. But at least I'll give them, a random person, doesn't know what to do in a lot of these situations. They weren't trained to do this stuff. A first responder, a police officer, grow a set. Do what you were hired to do. Protect and serve. They just watched this lady burn. So, I just wanted to get a quick little video update on this unfortunate chain of events that just happened. Bourbon Street, New Orleans. And, unfortunately, this is where we are in society today. You got to watch out for vehicles now. And if you're in big crowds, pay attention. You know, people might call you paranoid, but I mean, I go to concerts, festivals from time to time. I'm always just scanning the crowds. Like, people call me paranoid all you want, but you gotta be aware of your surroundings. And there's too many people that are just not paying attention. And then, Bourbon Street, New Year's, I'm sure a lot of people, were impaired. They were drinking, they were having a good time. So they definitely are not really paying attention to their surroundings. So not to preach on that, but if you're out in public, let's watch our alcohol consumption. Don't get too belligerent where you don't know what's going on. And I hope everybody has a great New Year's. And I will be looking more into this, but make sure you like, follow, subscribe on all channels at Trad West Podcast. Yesterday, I tried to do my first gaming stream on Twitch. Yeah, it wasn't working out very well. Very laggy. So I think it's because I'm on Wi-Fi, even though it says I have a great connection. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do a wired connection all the way up to my studio room up here, because I think that's really gonna make the difference whether you're on Wi-Fi or on a wired connection. But stay tuned. Could potentially be doing some gaming streams if that ends up getting figured out. But until next time, Trad West Podcast out.